Everyone, I'm just making sure that I'm live. I'm doing another YouTube live because I feel more comfortable doing these videos live than opposed to just doing a long-term record and then just have somebody edit it. I just feel more comfortable doing this one. Now, today, this is going to be a topic that's going to be a little bit more serious, especially if you're getting ready to move, whether you're buying a house, you're moving into a new place you're renting, or you have parents or older family members who are going to be downsizing. This is not a fun topic, but I'm going to be talking about decluttering. Yeah, I know. It sounds so simple. Um, you work through life, you've accumulated a lot of stuff, and now it's time to move, and you're just going, why do I have 17 jackets? Why do I have all these things that like why am I holding on to all these happy new year glasses from the last 17 years? It's you kind of start asking yourself why, but I want to talk about the parts of decluttering that people don't want to talk about. Obviously, there are benefits to decluttering. Less stress, more room, it's easier to clean the place. You might have made some money from selling some of this stuff, but there is some aspects to it that we need to look at, that we need to address within ourselves. And especially if you have an older family member um, who's getting ready to move and they're looking at what they've accumulated, and it's not an easy thing for them to declutter. Um, Especially if it's a hoarder situation. I have some friends that have had some hoarder like tendencies, and we on the outside don't realize how difficult it is until it's time for us to move. And it's finding that motivation. One thing I've told people when they know they're moving, they're going to buy a new house, they're going to find a new place to rent, whatever, moving in with a significant other, whatever the case may be. You got to find that motivation. You got to start going through that stuff and just saying, it's time to go through everything and um, sell what I can, throw out what I can, donate what you can. It's easier said than done. I've moved, I get it. But in situations like this, you have to just tell yourself it's time to start getting. And I made a short about this. I've jokingly called it the STD method: sell, throw out, donate. But there is some truth behind it. There is some method to this. Once you know you're going to be moving out, it's time to start cleaning things out. But if you have some family members who are going to be moving, or you have some friends who, whatever the case may be, and you know they have a lot of stuff, I would recommend try to encourage them, try to motivate them, try to get them to focus. You're going to be moving someplace closer to grandkids. You're going to be moving someplace closer to what you want. Do you need help? I with some of the older family members, I found just offering some encouragement has gone a long way to help declutter, especially when they're moving. It just really just it gives you help put them help put it into perspective. It helps them, and that's I had to tell myself when I was moving, I can't take all this garbage with me. Um, I got some pretty cool things I want to take, but I also got a lot of stuff that I just go, why am I holding on to all these plastic bags? And like, how much stuff am I going to be? How much trash am I throwing? How much kitty litter do I need? You get the idea. Why we start asking ourselves this? Um, Now, another thing that we don't realize when it comes to decluttering is sometimes again, from the outside, we don't realize until we're doing it, but there's always that, am I throwing away the wrong thing? Um, am I going to need this? In my case, I have to go like, well, how many Allen wrenches from IKEA do I really need? Um, I don't need all 7 of these things. I only need just 1 or 2, maybe 3. But th- there's that fear, there's that guilt, or that guilt that, well, this hat belonged to your grandfather. Yes, it did, but this was also a hat he didn't give a care about. He just, he threw but my grandfather had all sorts of hats, and some family members didn't want to throw those out because they belonged to him. But again, just some of these hats that would just say Blueberry Festival 1979. I think it's safe to say you could toss that one out unless he held a grandchild. You have to look at the guilt and ask yourself, does it really make sense? Again, easier said than done. I completely understand. And also, there's the sentimental aspect. This is something that we don't realize until we're moving. And we do put sentimental value in certain things that may not necessarily. I'm holding into a coffee to a bottle. I got this at a Washington Wizards game around Christmas, and I'm still holding onto this, thinking, "Hey, be great for a drink." We do stuff like that. There, we look at the sentimental, and you got to ask yourself when you look at everything and just go, "Why? Why do we do this?" So, yeah, we have to look at this. And when we were helping someone, we're getting ready to move. We have to kind of tell ourselves, I don't need it. I can't take it. And again, some people it's easier just throw it away. And I get that. I absolutely understand that. Um, I'd love to know, have you had things that you can't declutter? Um, but a couple more things that we never talk about when it comes to decluttering, especially when somebody's moving, is burnout will happen. People get overwhelmed. They might be making progress, and then they just mentally get exhausted. Physical exhaustion is one thing, but you just mentally you feel overwhelmed. Um, Sometimes you might need to have a friend or family member to help you out, and again, they can also help you go, do I need to keep this or do I need to get rid of this? It is, um, yeah, you have to listen to yourself when you're getting mentally burned out. Sometimes you have to tag someone in. Another thing, though, I will also mention, this one makes me chuckle, is when I see people decluttering, they go, "Oh, I've got family members that will want this." I could see somebody saying, or capitals too, somebody going, "Oh, your cousin might want this." No, no, they wouldn't. I cannot see anybody in my family wanting this thing. Um, it is absolutely you have to, when you're getting ready to move and you're getting ready to throw stuff out, you have to realistically tell yourself who in their right mind would want this. Um, Another thing I have, okay, I actually have I have coasters of some of the Washington Capitals' greatest plays. This is the goal when Eller when Smith Pelly scored the goal to get the cup against the Golden Knights. I have somebody who would want something like this, but a regular coffee coaster that's just nothing. Who You got to ask yourself: does someone really want that? Just throw it away. And if you're helping somebody in that situation, you have to be realistic. Again, you don't want to shatter their world, but you have to realistically and go, who in the world really wants in a generic coaster that's painted blue with nothing on it? It's yeah, it is the things that we hear. Um, but the other thing that I also tell people when they're moving is a great opportunity to change things. You're throwing stuff out, you can improve yourself, but you have to change your habits. You could easily throw everything out of the room, and then I've seen it happen where somebody's cleared out a room, all the junk is gone, and then 6 months later, it's filled up again with more random junk. You move into and again, I've seen it. They buy the new home, they throw all the crud out, they move into the new place, and that extra bedroom they got that was going to be the office, was going to be the game room, was going to be the area for grandkids or people to stay, guests to stay, now has become a museum to all sorts of random junk, and that is, um, it is also frustrating. I've helped people in that situation, and I tell people when they're moving, they have to stay on top. They have to, again, I know easier said than done, but they have to stay on top of this stuff. Um, the I have friends that work in the self-storage industry, and they see people moving stuff in, and it's just like they're filling a 10 by 10 storage unit, and they go, "Why are you holding on to this? Why are you spending your good money on just junk?" And they're bringing in too much to the new place. So there is a mental anxiety, and I understand that, but you have to talk to yourself. You have to get an understanding of what you're dealing with to truly free yourself of this stuff. And I get it. I have a friend who's holding on to stuff that belonged to his parents when they died, and I get it's just trying to hold on to his parents, but I also go, it's a random Washington Post that your father spilled coffee on in 2004. I think you can get rid of it. I just don't think you need the Folger stained newspaper anymore. I think that can go. His favorite hat, maybe you can hold on to that. His favorite jacket, something that of actual value, but there are people who do that. I completely, um, I get that. But also, oh, and another thing too, when you're throwing stuff away, if ask yourself, where could it go? I get it. Some things you have some shirts, you have some stuff. Could this stuff help somebody in a donation center? You have some T-shirts. I'll admit it. I've gained some weight, so I've gotten some T-shirts and some pants. I realized I'm never gonna fit. And I'm just lying. I'm just no matter what I try to do, I'm just it's just I enjoy pizza too much, and I've come to realize that donating these shirts at at the donation center, whether it's a homeless shelter or something they could sell to help money to raise money to help other people, I do that. You could sell some of this stuff too, maybe some furniture, maybe some miscellaneous stuff, but donating can definitely go a long way. If you're decluttering or helping someone declutter, anything that could be salvaged to help somebody else, you're paying it forward. Um, and the the I know it's easier so people go, well, how do I declutter? And people just go, well, just throw everything out. You're not the one doing it. When someone tells me just throw everything out, and I've found what I've told clients when they're moving, I've told friends when they're facing the situation, and I've had a couple of friends that have helped with decluttering situations. It's start small, start in a corner. Sake of argument, you're moving in 30 days. Divide everything up into sections. Okay, this section I'm hitting today, throwing away, donating, gonna put it on Marketplace or Craigslist to see if it's sell, and then the next day do this. You could do the 20-minute to 20-10 rule, 20 minutes of decluttering, 10 minutes break, 20 minutes of decluttering, and start doing small. And I will say this, it's what's worked for me. Clear out a certain section. The next day I come back, I've got a little bit of room. I've got a little, you start feeling the motivation will start coming in there. Okay, I cleaned this corner out. I can hit the next corner or the next section of the wall. And now I have more space. And then day 3, you're creating more space and you're kind of getting a little bit of momentum going. And I found something like that's gone a long way. I also tell people, and again, I jokingly say with the STD rule, sell, donate, throw out. Well, sell, throw away, donate. Make piles of 3. What's going to be trash? What could be donated? What could be given away, sold? Things like that. Um, or you make 4, a fourth pile. What's something you actually need? And I've found like this has helped me out a long way. It helped my friends out. Um, the other rule I have is, and I tell people, my clients when they're moving, if you're going through your stuff, if you haven't used it in the last year, 2 years, whatever the item may be, it might be time to part ways with it. Again, throw it away, donate it, sell it, whatever the case may be. If it hasn't done anything for you, it's time to get. Um, I understand there's a sentimental value, but you have to ask yourself, like I said, that coffee stained newspaper that your father accidentally created 20 years ago, is it really going to do anything? You your father would tell you it's okay. You can throw that away. And again, thank you for putting up with my rambling on this one. This is kind of a more of emotional because I've dealt with people who've. Um, I worked with a lot of estate sales, and I see a lot of hoarder situations. Um, One of the hardest ones I ever saw was uh, help this help this young lady sell her parents' house. When her mother died, her father gave up on life. Just he gave up, and things just started accumulating in the house. Just out of respect, I'm not going to show the pictures, but it was a mess. Um, it smelled bad of animal byproduct, human byproduct. He gave up. He was just waiting for the sweet release of death. The quote he used. Um, about 18 months later, he finally passed away, and she got the house. And I connected with people to help her go through there, but it was such an overwhelming situation for her. And again, she started doing the same. She rented a dumpster, and her and her friends started doing the small thing, hitting one room at a time, hitting one section of a room, and then gradually getting it ready. Um, it is a heartbreaking situation when you see this. But again, you're decluttering, you're getting ready to move. Um, it's you need to trying to articulate myself, trying to get my thoughts. You need to go through everything. You have to prioritize everything in this situation. This is also therapeutic for me doing this. So if you're still watching this down the road, I greatly appreciate you. Thank you for letting me ramble on. Um, but the most important thing I would tell people who are decluttering when they're moving out, ask yourself to find your motivation. Why are you moving? Um, I've worked with people who they were downsizing to be in a smaller home that was going to be closer to the grandkids. Um, Retirement. They can finally move to Florida and get that house. They're starting anew. Wonderful reasons. But you tell people you have to have that motivate. You have to have that. Why am I doing this down here? Um, and it's easier said. I keep saying, but going in a situation like this will definitely help you down the road. Um, you have we've all accumulated a lot of stuff. I have an athlete. Like I said, I showed this. Again, I think it's a cool design, but why am I holding onto this months later? Um, but it's if you're helping somebody downsize, declutter, try to encourage them. Try to help them focus on the important stuff, the motivation. Why are you moving? Why do you need to declutter? Focus on the positives. Um, if you are in a situation where you're the one declutter, so like again, I tell my clients that they're moving or the estate sales, um, focus on again where you're moving to. Um, a lot of times with my clients who are the estate sales, I encourage them to declutter and throw away the stuff first before we put the house on the market. You'll get more money. The investors, people who are looking at the house, they're looking at the house, but they also see the clutter, so they think they have to do more work to the house. When in reality, all they need to do is just throw all the junk out, and then I've helped sellers make an extra 30, 40, 50, $90,000 because of that, just decluttering the freaking place and cleaning the yard up. But anyways, uh, this has actually been very therapeutic. So I thank you for letting me be part of this. Um, any comments? What other topics you want me to talk about? Whether in the live or in the shorts or the traditional long form, greatly appreciate. But thank you again for letting me do this. And I'll see you in the next video.